Alright guys, HyDra again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Doug Censor Martin back in the headlines here, getting involved in some pretty big drama last night with an Activision employee. He's not taken any disrespect, it seems, from anyone that works for the organisation that makes the game that he competes in for a living. Going off about this one, going, a shirtless video comes out as well. It's all going on. Very much interested to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Plenty to get into. First of all, just wanted to quickly mention the dates for the Legends FaZe, as they call it, right? But this is the off-season that is going on at the, the Black Ops 2 Invitational is going on at the off-season event put on by Hitch and the TSD boys at the Esports Stadium Arlington. Scump and Nadeshot, they do play round one. Now, you can argue the bracket has been slightly rigged to make this happen, but whatever. Going to be exciting stuff, and Scump looking to defend the crown that he won there with his team last season. 23rd, 24th of September coming up in a couple of weekends' time at this point. Shortly after that, it's going to be the beta for the new game. Then the Halo World Championship actually happens in kind of early to mid-October. XDefiant might launch, and then the game comes out and everything kicks off. So that's kind of the runway for the next couple of months. There also was a fair bit of talk the other day about CTF versus Control. I don't know what you guys expect them to do here, but the general perception has been that Control was at its best as a game mode. Probably in Black Ops 4, to be honest, when it came in 5v5 with Specialist in play. Since then, it hasn't been as good. It was okay in Cold War. I think it wasn't bad in that game. But since then, I've not been, massively enjoying Control. And even in Vanguard, it wasn't even in the game. There were so many glitches at the start of it. And it's a passable third game mode. It's better than Domination, absolutely undisputedly. I know there's been some talk about Demolition. Even back in the day, there was talk about Sabotage or like Headquarters or something as the third game mode. There are some options. To me, Capture the Flag is a very good one and does work. Like, for example, in the Jetpack games, Uplink is just the way to go. So, like, Uplink is fantastic as a game mode, but it doesn't really work on boots on the ground. People have talked about, bring Uplink back and put like a trampoline in the portal there. I don't know. They tried it in World War II with the game mode called Gridiron. The pros played it. They preferred CTF. But CTF in World War II wasn't really great. Ardennes Forest, in my personal, it's a hot take to be honest, but Ardennes Forest, which was considered the most boring CTF map ever, was actually the best one fundamentally. Ardennes Forest, the spawns actually made sense. When you pulled their flag out, they would spawn out and they would have the choice, do they wrap back, do they overextend? The issue was with Ardennes Forest is the way the map was designed, you could just stand so far back in your spawn that it just made the gameplay really stale. You just have someone camping the flag the whole time defending it, even though when you did get that kill and get the flag captured or pulled at the very least, the spawns actually made sense. Much more so than London Docks, where you just pull the flag, run it straight down mid, and, fine, whatever, but that's not really how CTF should be played, I don't think. The way the spawns worked on that game, on those maps, especially London Docks and Flak Tower, weren't particularly good. So that was our last kind of exposure to Capture the Flag. But we know that these maps that are coming into the new game, all the old school ones, they did play for Capture the Flag back in the day. The likes of Invasion and Scrapyard, Karachi, whatever the ones were that they used to play CTF on. I'm guessing, probably actually not one of those that I just mentioned, but definitely High Rise, I think it was played, and then also, I guess, Terminal as well. Terminal was definitely played, I'm pretty sure. So, there are spawns that are set in stone on these maps. Like, if they just copy and paste them from the original game, maybe that will actually work. And it feels to me the general perception of the pro players is they would like to see us move away from Control somewhat for the new year, and I think the fans probably feel the same way as well. Now, let's talk about the developers here and what they've had to say, because Doug was getting into some pretty heated kind of drama last night with one of the quality assurance testers, it seems, from Activision side. And, we obviously know that Infinity Ward, with their game designs, have made some questionable decisions over the last couple of years. Shotzzy scenario is so funny because he plays like a 1v4 here, like there was no one on his team and he had to 1v4 every round, and he's sitting in this glitch spot you guys might know, where this is a stair glitch, right? If you sit here, they just can't see you at all, so unlucky to the other team that's just got completely smoked by this one. But we know for the last several years, there's been a lot of talk from the developers, especially from Infinity Ward, it's got to be said, against the competitive players. And a lot of the time, the COD pros have felt somewhat disrespected by some of the statements that have been made, and I can't blame them. Now, you also can't blame the developers for designing the game for the casuals. It absolutely makes sense. That's the way the game has been designed for years. But it feels to me, at least, that the games that are designed from a slightly more competitive angle, i.e. by the likes of Treyarch, actually just play better for public matches and casual play anyway as well. That's at least my opinion. Now, Jeff Smith, he caused a lot of controversy from Infinity Ward when he actually said this going into, well, the new game, where he says that, the final maps that are going to be released here, so he only said this a few months ago, are going to lean into that style for competitive play. So it kind of feels like Infinity Ward have not exactly changed their minds, but this is a slightly different sentiment to what Jeff Smith said a couple of years ago, and this article, for some reason, there were some glitches in here when I found it, but you guys remember this statement where the same guy from Infinity Ward says that esports games, so somewhere along the line, these games have tried to get so balanced, maybe it was esports, it kind of boiled the fun out of things when you try and super balance everything. We're just having fun. We want to just climb around and have some interactions. It can be a creativity problem. Solve this firefight. Instead of having me force down the hallway, I can use my brain better. I can get a different advantage. It's kind of a puzzle platform approach. We want to create a more dynamic interaction. So whatever, it's all buzzwords, right? But you guys remember when he said this a couple of years ago now, where it basically said that, yeah, competitive has ruined the game, is what the implication was. So of course, naturally, there's been some frustration over time between these developers and people that worked for Activision and Infinity Ward and some of the pro players. Now, Censor tweeted this out yesterday. Working at the company for the game that I won 2 national championships playing and hating on success like this is insane, but you do you. Now, the account actually, she deactivated her account basically, and a lot of people were replying saying, like, I can't believe she actually still works there or whatever, because she's said a lot of stuff in the past and it's not particularly good stuff. And even she then replied, and then Doug was like, don't start a war that you won't finish. And yeah, she didn't finish the war as it turned out. So these were the screenshots involved. And as Doug says, for more context, like I said, not the first time Activision employees talk this way to me. It'll be hilarious if I'm in the league winning. What will they say at that point? I'd expect this behavior from a 15-year-old internet troll, which I think is a valid assessment, not a 27-year-old grown-up, but I'm the bully, right? So anyway, this is what she's had to say. These are tweets that Doug's put out over the last several months, and he just looked up some of her replies to it. At some point, you've got to start being realistic, right? Where he says he's going to be on main stage, then he says number one player in the world, she says no one asked. And just to say who this person is, because as I say, her account's been deactivated. If you look her up still on Google, you'll find like her Twitter bio is kind of still there, although you can't find it right now on x.com, whatever, because it's been deactivated. You can see senior QA, right? So senior quality assurance or whatever for Activision. I'm pretty sure that's the side of things she works on. So it's pretty wild, I'm not gonna lie, that she's just coming out roasted Doug. And you guys might think, okay, you know, who cares, right? Like, she's just having a good time roasted Doug, like everyone does on social media. But I think it's outrageous, to be honest, that, Doug has been a massive ambassador for Call of Duty and has played the game for years. I think in general, like, the players don't get maybe the respect that they deserve from the developers, in the same way that it's like, well, when you're going to make those packs and put the players, Nick Merckx and Tim the Tapman in the game, it's like, surely, don't want to go on about this again, really, but if there's anyone you've got to honour in the game, you'd think it'd be Scump or Nade or someone like that anyway. So, anyway, so he says this as he cries in bed at night, which is just another fantastic comment. And I think that was actually one of the, it was this one as well, where she says, you're not making it into the league, Doug. So lots of stuff like this that happens over the last several months, and then he DMs her to say, just letting you know, for future success, because of your comment, I automatically would never associate with you. You talk like that, winners don't care for you and needs. Use that for future success, best of luck. And then she replies, promoting your fan base to bully someone online is wild, yet you somehow think you're the better person here. That is crazy. Then don't interact with me. It's like, first of all, Doug never tweeted this and was like, yo, come after this woman, like, send all his fans to me. He was just pointing out some of the things that she had said, and she started, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he started this whole thing. I don't understand how she seems to think like Doug has the thin skin here when she's the one that eventually deactivates. I don't know. Absolute mess, to be honest. This is a definition of a victim mentality, he says. We could all be a victim regardless of circumstances. Is this bullying or educating? You decide. So, you know, and then there were some further replies to this as well, and he said, clearly it wasn't. I'm not going to allow the company I play video games for to take public shots to me. It's interesting, like, way that Doug perceives this. In the way that he kind of plays video games for Activision as he sees it, which I guess in some sense is true. And, you know, but it's not I haven't usually seen people perceive it in this way. Usually it's like, well, they play, you know, for their team or for themselves or whatever. So, I don't know, it's interesting, but I kind of get it in a way, because by people like Doug and other players and content creators playing the game and streaming it, it's effectively advertising the game, right, in some ways. So, yeah, I feel like it's not ideal for many sides. So anyway, Doug decided to get his shirt off, or he probably just never put the shirt on in the first place, to be honest, and talked about this for a little bit, so just wanted to share this.
Hey guys, so I just did my 6-hour pull-up session. I failed it at 4 hours, or 3 hours and 45 minutes, but, you know, I'm all about promoting people just being better and being great. We got this Activision employee. I'm going to be very careful with her because I don't like the way that they interact with people. They try to take everything you say and they try to twist it into something it's really not. But there's this Activision employee who is questioning my work ethic and questioning if I can compete and do pull-ups at the same time. And I find it a little bit weird coming from the company that I've quite literally dedicated my entire life to. And it's the thing to me that bothers me is that I personally would work forever to gain respect in things that I love, like Call of Duty. And I felt that I've gained the respect, and I felt like I've lost some of the respect because of the Nadia stuff. Activision really didn't like that stuff behind closed doors. And it seems like to me that anytime I interact with someone at Activision, they always have these little snarky comments. It's never anything supportive. It's never anything nice. It's never anything good. And it just seems like they want to hold a grudge in some way. So you know what? We're just going to flip this thing around, and I'll let you guys decide. Is this truly a bullying moment or an educational moment? Because I see the good and bad in everything. I see the good in me, and I see the bad in me, and I see in everyone around me too. And I'm not trying to promote the bad in anyone. I'm not promoting bullying. I don't want you guys to go bully anybody. That's not the type of thing that I stand for. But I also don't stand for weak-minded individuals trying to tear people down, and that's never something I'm going to support. So I see this as an opportunity to show people what you can decide to be in life. Do you want to be a weak-minded person, or do you want to be a person who's trying to get better? Do you want to criticize everyone and every little thing that they're doing all the time? Because what's that going to do to you? It's going to make you the same thing as what you're criticizing people of, just wasting your time. So I highly recommend on the internet, guys, it's easy to waste your time, scroll around, hate on people, comment here, scrutinize this, scrutinize that. But what do you want to do? Do you want to scrutinize people, or do you want to do something with your life? I'll let y'all decide that. Have a good night.
And as you guys can see, as it stands, this account has now been deactivated. So, yeah, maybe she'll come back at some point. But, yeah, supposedly she's been, you know, roasting people unnecessarily for a long time, despite working for Activision, and you'd think that probably wouldn't be the case. And now Doug was the final straw for her account to be officially deactivated. So, yeah, that's pretty much that side of the story. Just wanted to mention a couple of nice things before we close out the video here. Firstly, from Nadeshot, he was actually playing, we saw earlier in the video, the whole Scump thing that they're going to play. Formal won't be playing in that one because he'll be preparing it for the Halo World Championship. But Nade and Formal were actually playing some Valorant together, and they clutched this nice little 2 versus 4 here between the two of them. Formal gets 2 kills, and then Nadeshot finishes off the final one as well, which is kind of nice to see. And they were talking about how, just like the good old days when they were on the early part of the OpTic Dynasty, people always consider the OpTic Dynasty to be specifically, you know, Formal, Scump, Karma, Crim. But, you know, Nadeshot won a good couple of tourneys with them at the start of the Advanced Warfare season before he then took his hiatus, from which he never returned. This is also pretty wild here, I gotta say. Like, we know that Formal is icy, like, as cool as it gets, but his grand finals win percentage is actually remarkable. This is in Halo, but, like, of the 12 finals he's made in Halo, he's won 11 of them. Shotzzy actually won 5 from 6. Ogre 2 is 40 from 56, but, I mean, this pretty crazy, right? So, like, of the 12 finals falls win, he's won 92% of them. So, yeah, if he makes the finals of champs, then you can maybe perceive how that might potentially go yet again. And another face mod for you guys. I think I know what this is, but because it's clearly attach, right? Attach is the outside of the body and the hair, I think. And then these eyes are very unique. And I think that it's probably Sparts, but I might be wrong on that. I don't know. But I'm intrigued to your thoughts on this in the comment section below nonetheless. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.